Hi everyone, my name is Melissa van Dijk, and in today's video I want to talk about the real whole food crisis we are facing. And by that I mean we have manipulated food to such a large extent that most of us do not really know anymore what actual real food is. We constantly think about food as something that has to be dressed up in some way. Because what I notice is that when I say, for example, I eat chicken with a potato and some eggplant, many of you may not imagine a plain whole potato with some plain cooked chicken on the side and eggplant in its simple form. It seems more like you're expecting it to be a recipe. Something more like a chicken breast that has been marinated or dressed up with seasonings, maybe even with a dressing or sauce on the side. Potatoes that are baked or pan-fried, and eggplant dressed up with olive oil, salt and pepper, so that the plate looks beautiful and so that you want to eat it in the first place. And yes, this is still closer to real food than ultra-processed food, but it is more like what I would call the wellness version of real food. And that is where I say we have created a food crisis, because we no longer really see that the food did not come with all of this. We put it there. So the potato did not come with oil. The chicken did not come with a marinade, otherwise it would be running around already marinated. And also the eggplant did not come with salt, pepper, olive oil or dressing. We added those things, and then we still call it real food as if nothing happened. And that creates two different versions of real food. There's the actual food, and then there's the dressed up wellness version of food. And this is a serious problem, because once that dressed up version becomes the baseline, it becomes much harder to figure out what is actually causing problems for our bodies and our skin. Because now the food is already so detached from how it came from nature that we are not really testing the food anymore. We are testing the food plus everything we added to it. So if something does not work, how do you know what the problem was? Was it the potato, or was it the oil, or the salt, or maybe all of it? Or was it the chicken, or how the chicken was prepared, or was it something in the marinade? Maybe it was the eggplant itself, or maybe it was something added to it. Or was it the pepper, the dressing, the sauce, or simply the salt we added to almost everything? And this is where things become extremely misleading, especially when we keep circulating around the same pattern in the wellness version of real food. Because even that space has kind of been hijacked. The wellness industry also imagines real food as a culinary experience. You have the potato, but now it has to become beautiful. It has to be seasoned and plated nicely. It has to have herbs, sauces, dressings, toppings, or whatever else added to it. And do not get me wrong, I understand why we enjoy that. But that is very different from becoming the baseline for actual testing, especially in studies. That is not how you figure out what the food itself is doing. Because if you wrap the food in oil, salt, spices, marinades, sauces and dressings, and then you blame the whole food when something does not work, no wonder the food has trauma. It is like the potato in this cute merch I created trying to tell you that I was fine before the marinade. It is basically telling you I can be eaten like this. Just boil me and eat me and I will make you happy. I mean, that is the difference I want you to see. So when I talk about real food and real skin, I mean actual whole foods that are basically as close as possible to how they came from nature. Because if you want to understand what food is doing to your body and your skin, you first need to know what the food is doing before you keep changing it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!